Yo, what's going on? It's that boy Fred. Welcome back to another video. And in today's video, we're going to be doing another what if video on the channel. And today we're going to be doing a what if Gohan was basically never born or never evolved in the story at all. And today we're not by ourselves. I got my good friend Montati here. Montati, say what's up to him.
Oh, what's going on?
Yeah, and so we're going to be tackling this video together. We're going to be basically breaking down in two different parts. We're going to be talking about basically how each individual Dragon Ball Z arc will be affected by Gohan not being there, and then we're going to be talking about as a whole, where would the story like come to a complete stop, or just fully be affected so much that the story would just change altogether and you'll have to think of a completely different narrative of it. So we'll be starting off with of course going in order from the Saiyan saga, Namek saga, Cell, and then Buu saga. So starting off with the Saiyan saga, the simplest way to look at this, if Gohan wasn't there, is that, you know, Goku wouldn't be alive. Let's say that he still would have died, but also in that process he wouldn't have died like how he did in the show, where he died like a hero. He would have just died by getting beat by Raditz, and so would have Piccolo, because as we all remember, in that scene it was Gohan who got that little power up of not touching my daddy and end up hitting Raditz in his shit and fucking up his gut. So then that was able to give them enough time to, you know, make a comeback and actually pull through in that fight. But with Gohan not there and not being able to do that attack, it then puts them in a pretty standstill and pretty bad situation with Raditz. So yeah, the Saiyan saga will be pretty simple of how the story would kind of change with Gohan not being there. Now, Montati, you want to hit up the Namek saga for me? Because that's pretty simple.
So as far as the Namek saga goes, Gohan really didn't have too much influence, if we're being honest, right? Like, yes, he was one of the major characters in the arc, but what did he really do? Like, he didn't really fight that all too much. I mean, he got his potential unlocked by Guru, fought Frieza for a little bit, but
it was a solid fight, but it was nothing.
Yeah. Besides that, he didn't really do anything besides hang out with Krillin for the most part.
Yeah, and then
so there's like little to no difference there.
The things we were talking about that he actually done that would have been of some importance was helping Krillin find the Dragon Ball, which we both agreed Krillin probably could have done that on his own. And while the Dragon Balls were a very clutch part because it was able to bring back Piccolo and, you know, stuff like that, but it also was, we were talking about that at the end of the, well, towards the beginning of the Goku Super Saiyan Goku versus Frieza fight, when Goku told Gohan to get Piccolo out of there. So, you know, if Gohan isn't there, it is possible that, you know, Piccolo still could end up dying. And if he is, and there's nobody to get his body out the way, because Krillin should be dead as well, Dende is somewhere. I can't remember if Frieza killed Dende or not at this point, but
yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember if he killed Dende at this point or not, but yes, so it's just Piccolo there at that point. And so now you would have to assume that maybe if this same scenario is happening, that, you know, Goku might destroy Piccolo's body and Piccolo might be gone for good in the series, because without someone else there to take Piccolo's body away, he's just gonna lay there, and he's already died once. So, you know, yeah, he's pretty much freaked from that point. And now the Cell saga is the one I was having the most trouble thinking about, you know, because we were talking about it and we were trying to think of a way that they could still succeed in the same way that they did. And to be honest with you, I really couldn't think of a true way, because in the Cell saga, as we all know, basically with Gohan needing to train with Goku because Goku sees his potential and he sees it's far greater than his own. With Gohan actually being able to train with Goku, Goku was able to, he had to split his training time in between two. Really, it was more so like a 80 to 20% ratio. He was giving more than all of his time to Gohan, and then, you know, slightly training himself off the bits of what he was doing with Gohan. So if Gohan isn't there, Goku now can proceed to train 100% by himself. And as we know, Goku is a very, you know, he can do a lot by himself. He was able to achieve Super Saiyan 2 and Super Saiyan 3 by himself, from what we know at least. You know, it definitely is very possible that he was training with some other people in the other world and all that. But for what we know, it was mostly done on his own. So we know in a situation like this, it is very possible for Goku to be able to achieve Super Saiyan 2, considering the fact that he already was the first person to go Super Saiyan 1, and he was able to do it extremely fluently by the time he even came back to Earth in the beginning of the Android/Cell saga. So in this situation, you basically will have to think of how much stronger will Goku and Vegeta both get in this terms. And as we already seen how strong Vegeta was, we can't really move him and Trunks' strength around. Like, they just are where they are. We know they were roughly around second form Cell, if not a tad bit stronger than him. But the second he went to perfect Cell, yeah, they were out of the equation. So now the only other people that was comping with him exactly was Gohan and Goku. And now that Gohan isn't there, Goku was able to kill Cell, as we do remember, in his first perfect form with the instant transmission Kamehameha. So if Goku is slightly stronger, it is possible that he may be able to give off an attack that's, devastating enough to disintegrate Cell's body altogether. But if not, then as I stated to Montati, then probably the same thing will happen in the anime as what it did in this situation, where Cell will probably end up getting upset that Goku is beating him, and he will probably want to blow himself up. And in that situation, then you no longer have an option, because Cell told them if they hit him, he's going to blow. And if they just let him sit there, he's going to blow. So Goku, being the only person that can teleport him away, he would probably end up doing the same thing that he did in the show, in the original series. And he would probably end up teleporting him to King Kai's planet. And in that situation, then, Cell comes back and he absolutely wrecks everybody else who's left there. And Goku probably will not have enough time to go get Baba and bring him back for 24 hours. He probably just won't have that type of time. So it probably will be too late by the time everyone else is gone. So yeah, that's how I believe the Cell saga will go without Gohan. Now moving on to the Buu arc, you want to tackle a little bit of that so we can, because this one's a little bit like weird at the same time.
Yeah. This one is weird, and also like probably one of the longer ones that we'll talk about, just because of how involved Gohan is in the arc.
Exactly.
So when the arc starts off, obviously, there's a little bit of a time skip. Gohan's kind of older. He's in high school now, obviously. So we're not going to get any of that high school arc at all, because obviously Gohan's not here. So that leads into Gohan not meeting Videl, and then Hercule really not being friends with Buu, which we'll get into later. But because Gohan doesn't meet Videl, then Hercule's not going to be in with the Z Fighters and all that stuff. And also, Gohan won't have heard of the World Tournament from Videl and be asked to enter.
And so that would not prompt Goku to ever come back.
Exactly. And that goes into not being able to run into Yama and Spopovich, so they're basically going to run shit there. And that's going to affect Majin Vegeta, but Fred, how's that going to affect Vegeta in his whole arc?
Okay, so with Vegeta, the most part that it's going to affect is the fact that Vegeta will never probably become Majin Vegeta at this point in time. Mainly because he wouldn't have a reason to be so upset or to want to fight Goku. Because we all know he went Majin Vegeta because he wanted to fight Goku so badly. He was willing to go to those extent. So with Goku not having a reason to come back and just stay in Otherworld, he now is just going to be probably off still training, getting stronger. But the one thing that it will affect is it will affect Vegeta's character, and he probably won't have that emotional moment and that drive for everybody else that we all saw with the whole final explosion scene. We won't get that extra step of character development, because we all know Vegeta's character development is amazing when it comes to most characters in anime, and we just won't have that really big important scene from him. And another thing is, now we have to understand or figure out how long it will take Buu to come out, because if Vegeta is still just off training somewhere, then you can't say that Babidi will ever find, one of these Z fighters and just steal their energy. Especially in this situation, Vegeta is the only one, because since Gohan isn't there, nobody else's energy at this point on Earth is as strong as Vegeta. He's the strongest fighter here. So you would have to find an argument or some type of reasoning that Babidi would be able to find Vegeta in the first place to be able to awaken Buu. Unless you want to go and say that it's going to basically take a much longer time than what it originally did. It's kind of a weird place to put it. But then also we have to figure out then if Boo is to be awakened. Now, what would the whole situation be? Because also we have to remember that originally when Majin Buu was awakened, it was Goku, Vegeta, and Gohan who were all originally in the same place. But then stuff went south. Goku and Vegeta went off and fought, and they end up giving off enough energy for where Buu to wake up, and then it was just Gohan who fought him. And he ended up killing Kibito in the process, and he also ended up killing the Supreme Kai. Now, the one thing that we can put out there is that the Supreme Kai and Kibito could still have been at the World Tournament. But the thing is, they wouldn't have had a true, like, they wouldn't have been able to accomplish nowhere near as much as they did because they wouldn't have had someone like Gohan there to get the amount of energy they needed to follow Yamovich and Spotovich to wherever they were going. So then they would maybe be there, but it would be utterly useless because no one else in that World Tournament had that amount of energy to help them out. So basically now you have Gohan who just fought probably Majin Buu. Well, in that situation he would have fought Majin Buu. But guess what? No longer Gohan is there, and at this point Vegeta is the only person here on Earth. So if they do manage to awaken him, Vegeta is going to be the only person to show up to stop this energy because he's going to feel the energy. Just like Goku and him did when they were fighting. They felt that energy waking up. So Vegeta will probably rush over there and figure it out, and so will the other Z fighters. And at a certain point in time, Goku probably will realize this and eventually try and come back. And in this process, they're both Super Saiyan 2s. Goku has Super Saiyan 3 hidden in his back pocket, as we all know. Now, in a situation like this, everybody except for Goku and Vegeta are now on equal playing field with this guy. But one thing we do know for sure is we do know how Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta versus, and actually we know how a stronger Vegeta of Super Saiyan 2 goes against Fat Buu, and Vegeta ends up losing because of Majin Buu's regeneration. So we know for a fact Vegeta by himself cannot handle this fight, so it's going to call for Goku to need to come back. And then one thing is also we have to think about is since Goku doesn't have Gohan here, once Gohan is taken to the land of Kais, there is no longer going to be a Potara fusion between these two. So now it's just going to be Goku, Vegeta versus, you know, Buu. Now the one thing we also can give them, you know, a helping hand in is the fact that Goku does know the fusion dance. So if things do get hard enough, it is very possible for these two to fuse, considering the fact they are roughly around the same power. But you know, Goku will need to lower his just a little bit since he does have an evolved stage above Super Saiyan 2. So then if they do fuse, let's all be real, Fat Boo's getting his shit smacked around. He's getting absolutely destroyed. Like, and it's gonna be worse than what Gohan got done to him. Like in this, we all know Gohan and Fat Buu have a significant power gap in between those two. And Gogeta and Vegeta are neck and neck when it comes to power. Who you ever think is stronger is up to you. I'm always Team Vegeta, just throw that in there. But you know, just yeah, regardless of whoever it is, he's getting his butt absolutely destroyed. So in that situation, if it plays out like that, then the arc still should be smooth without Gohan. It just probably will be a lot more nitty and gritty. But other than that, and I feel like we've covered out all the arcs, how they would go individually. Now we can speak on the very quick summary of how the story altogether would change and what would, you know, mess up the story altogether. And it starts at the Saiyan saga and it ends at the Saiyan saga, if we're going to be honest, because like I said in the very beginning, Gohan not being there would have resulted in Goku and Piccolo's death. So that would have meant Raditz would have still killed everyone on Earth, and that would have been the story right there. So yeah, did all that extra summary of how each arc will go just for it to end just like that first arc. Like, it's actually crazy how much Gohan really impacted that arc. Because originally when I thought of this video yesterday, I was thinking that maybe it would have took, you know, at least until the Cell Saga, because that was the arc where he had, in my opinion, the most impact. But, you know, it doesn't, because we got to remember that one scene was all it took to save Goku and Piccolo's life, at least for that time, until Goku did choose to die after the fact. But with Gohan not taking that, you know, that hit on Raditz's gut, then it's a wrap. So
Yeah, in all honesty.
yep, and yeah, I think that's gonna wrap up this what if video right here. Hope you
Yes,
guys
sir.
enjoyed the video. Please be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and go check out Montati's channel, because now he has two different channels. He has his Dokkan channel, and he has this new channel that he's going to start dropping brand new content on. Montati, you want to give him a little, a little tell on what the new channel is going to be about?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So basically, the old channel, well, it's not really old, but the channel before this new one, it's gonna be basically everything that does not have to do with Dokkan Battle. So I'll upload some legends, some anime reviews, some. I kind of want to start manga reviews. I'm not gonna lie to you, and pretty much anything that does not have to do with Dokkan Battle is gonna be uploaded on the original channel. But the new channel is just all Dokkan content, which is still gonna be 3 videos a day, stuff like that. But everything else is gonna be on the other channel. So
Yeah,
hey, whichever one you prefer, go check it out. Subscribe to both. I would really appreciate it.
yeah, and he also just hit 400, so he's looking for that 500
sir.
goal too. So yeah,
You
go
already
check
know.
out both of those channels. I'm gonna leave both of the links in the description below. But with all that out the way, like I said earlier, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.